Welcome back to Arxflix, the go-to channel for research-focused deep dives into cutting-edge academic papers. Today, we're exploring a fascinating study titled Sharpness Minimization Algorithms Do Not Only Minimize Sharpness to Achieve Better Generalization. This paper critically examines the widely held belief that flatter minima in neural networks imply better generalization. Let's dive in. Traditionally, it's been thought that flatter minima correlate with better generalization. But does that always hold true? Empirical studies suggest that sharp models can also perform well on unseen data. Let's dig into this through questions and scenarios painted by the paper. The paper challenges the idea that the flattest minimizers always generalize well. The authors show that this isn't always the case, even for simplified architectures like two-layer ReLU networks. They demonstrate that adding or removing a bias term can turn a generalizing model into one that fails, and vice versa. This variability implies that flatness isn't the sole factor determining a model's ability to generalize. For instance, when training without bias, the flat models generalize well. This is visually represented in the figure where the model reaches perfect generalization. Interestingly, weight decay also decreases the flatness, supporting generalization. This scenario involves two-layer ReLU networks trained without bias. The paper proves through Theorem 3.1 that the flattest models for this setup can generalize almost perfectly. Additionally, empirical results with sharpness-aware minimization (SAM) algorithms show that they tend to find these flatter, generalizing minima. However, adding bias changes the game entirely. Scenario I introduces the complexity of sharpness and generalization. When bias is added, there exist models that have the least sharpness yet generalize poorly. This is an intriguing finding because it implies sharpness alone isn't enough to ensure good performance on unseen data. In this figure, despite a flatter minimizer found by SAM, the model fails to generalize, indicating the addition of bias introduces complexities in the generalization-sharpness relationship. Further complicating the matter, Proposition 4.2 shows that even within the same biased model architecture, we can have flat minima that generalize well. This contradiction highlights how nuanced and architecture-dependent the relationship between sharpness and generalization really is. In the third scenario, although non-generalizing flat models exist, SAM algorithms still find generalizing solutions. This indicates that these algorithms leverage more than just minimizing sharpness to achieve good generalization. Additional factors, perhaps architectural specifics or dataset characteristics, come into play. Here, simplified layer norm MLPs trained with SAM show a stark improvement in generalization, even though some flattest models can generalize poorly. This paper uncovers the complex, nuanced relationship between sharpness and generalization in neural networks. Sharpness minimization algorithms like SAM work, but not simply because they reduce sharpness. There are hidden, architecture-specific mechanisms at play. Future work should explore other properties that contribute to the success of these algorithms and examine whether these findings hold for deeper networks and varied architectures. The quest for understanding generalization in neural networks continues, and this paper is a pivotal step forward. That's it for today's episode. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into groundbreaking research papers. See you in the next video on Arxflix. Thanks a lot to Element for supporting Arxflix and providing this wonderful voice.